How's it going, everybody? It is Monday, and we have a ton of news to cover. We're going to be talking about the wars abroad, as well as the war we have here at home on our rights and our freedom of speech, Second Amendment, everything. We got a lot of things to cover today. I have a special guest joining me today, and we'll be covering his story that just hasn't seemed to be getting much traction. I think it should have a lot more attention on it because I think it has dire consequences for other people as well. But with that, let's jump into this. And we'll see you guys in just a moment. So joining me today on the show to talk about his situation and more is Carl. How's it going, Carl? Oh, wait. Sorry, Carl. Hang on. One moment. I haven't used the muting feature yet. So go ahead. One more time. Introduce yourself.
Yes, it's pretty much been a nightmare. My life for the last decade or 2 decades actually has been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, you want to? So what's going on? Why have things been a nightmare?
Well, I paid my house off in full back in the 1990s, and I didn't realize that leaves me vulnerable to the city and code enforcement coming out and harassing me. During the housing bubble of 06, 07, 08, I was harassed by a real estate developer that said, "Give me part of your property or I will get the city on you." I didn't realize that corruption was that bad, and so I didn't give him part of my property. So he got the city on me. The city came out and they started fining me for a whole bunch of things, which includes a tree falling during a superstorm. They said my grass wasn't growing fast enough. I appealed that, and they said that this is not a game of gotcha. This is not about how fast the grass grows, and then fined me over how fast the grass grows without ever telling me how fast the grass is required to grow. Then they fined me for trash being thrown in my yard. The neighbor that I was suing that was trying to extort my property threw trash in my yard. Code enforcement came out immediately, bright and early, and they took a close-up picture so you couldn't tell where the trash was from. They came out during storms, and they fined me for doing storm preparation and a bunch of other things. And so I sustained those fines, and then after Trump got into office, I paid my lump sum property taxes, $13,000. My property taxes are about $600 a year. So the $13,000 is everything all rolled up into one: water, sewer, garbage, everything rolled up into one. And that's what they told me. And I have that recorded. And then all of a sudden, code enforcement shows up, and they say that I need water turned on my other parcel. So I have 2 parcels and 1 house. And then he starts arguing with me. He looks at me and says I'm alt-right and that I listen to Rush Limbaugh. And then he turns around and makes comments about my pickup trucks. I have some vintage pickup trucks that I restored. And that's when he got triggered and started arguing with me about my carport. And I said it was already cut in half and that it was already cleared. And so he left, and I started getting a flood of fines. The fines were unclear. I posted a number of fines that were unclear as to what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, here, let's go through this first one. I don't mean to cut you off, but just for an example of what you're talking about, you shared this one here. And it says, you are hereby ordered to pay to the city of Sacramento and the administrative penalty in the amount of $3,000. The penalty is imposed in connection to the following violations. And then it goes through the violations, but it does not specify exactly what you need to do to rectify this.
Yes,
It says failure to maintain landscaping and plant materials. What does that mean? What do you mean? Like you're not cutting your grass, like you said? Is failure to maintain the exterior of the building, including but not limited to paint and finishes. I feel like all of this stuff, if they're going to fine you for it, they need to include documentation of it. Like, here's what's wrong, here's the picture of what's wrong, here's why you're being fined for it.
Right. And if you notice the date on that, this was after they closed the case. And the closure of the case, I believe, is in one of those, but I have the documentation for that, where they closed the case and then opened it back up again. So it started off with one person, Tim McMillan, and it was supposed to be about water needed to be on both parcels. And I told him I already had water, and I had water on the other side, as well as an AWS, which is alternate water source or water supply. And that means that basically you have two water supplies. And the alternate water supply is a way of saving water during the drought, which is something that happened during the 2014, 15, 16 era, where we had an extreme drought, and they were encouraging us to do such things as use your shower water in your toilet.
I remember the drought was so bad they were telling people not to water their grass. They were telling you to shower once or twice a week, if that. They were telling you crazy things. They were telling you like weird ways to wash your dishes to save water. It was crazy. I was really young, but I remember just like watching that passively in between like cartoons and stuff.
Right. So what I did was I came up with a system, and it worked beautiful. I cut my water usage by over 90%. And I even conducted experiments in-house in order to treat the water, in order to separate the soap from the water, and to see which soaps could be separated from the water, to see if there was a quick and easy way to separate this out to be able to reuse the water. So the entire thing was that I paid my bill the way I had for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden it defaulted right after I paid it. And so one of the links I gave you was me at the window showing that I paid $13,000.
Yeah, here, let me pull that up. You want me to pull that up?
Yes.
Let's see. I just got to find the right one. Here it is. Okay, switch over to this. Let me make sure that you can hear your own clip. Let me share this on your end. Okay. All right, so it says here, I paid $13,000 in 2017. All the bills rolled into one. They then defaulted me right after that, and it took years for them to finally say what the problem was. Now I lost my home because they didn't like that I voted for Trump. So before we play this clip, what was there, like, what led them to assume that you're a Trump supporter? Like, you said that this guy was accusing you of watching like Rush Limbaugh and stuff like that. What made him believe that? Why did he jump to that conclusion?
What happened was, when he showed up outside my gate on the sidewalk, this is Tim McMillan, he first said something about my pickups. Now I have vintage cars, vintage muscle cars, vintage pony cars, vintage sports cars, vintage motorcycles, and vintage trucks. This is my hobby. And so one of the pickup trucks is an F-250 Highboy, which is a great big huge butch looking four-wheel drive, and it's from 73, and it's fully restored, and it sits right there looking at you as you walk by. And then the other one is a all black F-350 dually, an 88. And so he looks at these and he mentions my pickup trucks, and I thought he was looking to buy them because I get people offering me money for them. And then he looks at me, and I'm a pale Native American, believe it or not. And I'm so pale, and he looks at me, and then I mentioned that they fined me over how fast the grass grows, and they fined me for having storm damage during a storm. And he said, we can do that. And he got defensive about it. And then he said, my carport. I pointed down the street at two other carports that were larger than mine and that were illegal. And he said, I'm not talking about them, I'm talking about you. And then he started getting defensive about it. And this was weeks after Trump got into office. And so he said, you're all right, aren't you? You listen to Rush Limbaugh, don't you? And then he looked at my carport again and said that it was illegal. And then he looked at some other things, and then he left quickly.
So it was some guy who was upset about the election. Sounds like he may have had, I'm just making assumptions here. It sounds like he may have had Trump derangement syndrome, and then he was selectively enforcing laws in your area, and then when you pointed it out, he just got even more upset.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you see this, there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about police officers that do this.
Yeah.
And this is a sworn officer. It's an unarmed officer. And I actually worked with code enforcement. Back when they were fining me over how fast the grass grows, I worked with these people. The company I worked for subcontracted for the city, county, and state, and I had to pass a police background check and fingerprint and all that in order to work with them. But I worked side by side with them in a uniform while they were doing this to my property. And what they were doing was clearing out what's known as Oak Park, California, or Oak Park, Sacramento. This is where the former mayor that built the King's Arena was from. In fact, he was a neighbor not too far away, and one of my neighbors actually knew him. And he played in the NBA and then came back and became a mayor of Sacramento and built the Kings Stadium downtown. And so what they were doing was redoing this area. And they would flush people out with what's known as zero tolerance. And so they would go through and take people's houses, take people's cars, and they took one or two of my cars. And one of them was because of a busted tail light after I got hit by a drunk driver. And they said it's zero tolerance, and I had to go pay money to get it out of tow, and I didn't have the money at the time, and so I lost my car.
Wow.
And so they had this zero tolerance where they cleaned things up. And they would selectively enforce things, and this was in order to generate more revenue.
Yeah.
The houses went from about 40, 60,000 to about 400,000. And so you had about 10-fold or 10-time increase in the housing values. So they gained a huge amount in property taxes. Prop 13 in California blocks them from raising the property taxes. So what they do is they find ways to take your house from you, or find ways to force you to sell your house.
Yeah.
And they do this by harassing with code enforcement. And I lost the appeal on how fast the grass grows. They never told me how fast the grass is required to grow. And I have evidence of this. I'm still digging through a whole bunch of paperwork. I literally have a stack, and this is not even a third of it, of papers. I don't know. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And this is papers I've been going through, 20 years or so worth of papers that I'm going through in order to try and document all this. And meanwhile, I'm facing eviction. I'm facing, I've already lost the first eviction. The house ended up being sold because they blocked me from getting emergency COVID relief. And I put that on there. Let's see. I put that on there. The guy came out. The guy came out to the fence, and I recorded it. And he said the house looks abandoned because it's boarded up. And they told me to board it up. And then they said on a phone call that
this
I
video
didn't.
here with the guy in the blue shirt.
Let me see the guy
All
with
these
the blue
people know
shirt.
that
It has the
Gary?
starts off with the.
And that's the other thing is, I'm surprised the city doesn't not.
Here, I think it's this one here. Let me switch my screen over so you could see. Is it
Sure.
this guy here?
He's walking towards it, and then there's another, and then the postman.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Come by.
Here's the first one.
What's your name?
I'm not a lawyer.
But this guy talked to the guy.
Wait, I'm not a lawyer.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay.
No. Yeah, I'll make sure I'm not an attorney by any means. Like I said, I work with the next to the city or alongside the city in their receivership program. I am not an attorney.
Well, I'll vouch for anything that some dude from the city
Colorado.
came by and basically didn't know that he was here. But was telling me, that, like, talking about having him to board up his windows, and I'm like, why would you have a guy board up? But he's here? I'm like, yeah, the fucking dude's here.
Gotcha. Paulo.
So he didn't know that I lived here,
No, I
right?
do not. That's why I asked him about boarding up the windows. Like, you had him. He had us buy the. Remember the
Right.
fucking plywood?
Right, we
And
had
I'm
to
like,
buy
why
the
would you have
plywood.
a dude that lives here? Somebody lives here? I'm like, yes, somebody fucking lives here. Is that good?
All right,
Can I?
come by.
That's crazy. So the city is repeatedly coming out saying that you don't live there when you very clearly do.
Yes. And they said that they didn't tell me to board up the house. They said that they were telling me how to board up the house. I'm like, how am I supposed to know the difference?
Was there something in writing that they sent you, or?
Yes. And I posted that. That's another post And basically, they gave me explicit drawings ordering me to board up the house, and then denying
Did you post?
that they ordered.
Did you post
Yes, I
that?
did.
Where's that one at? I'll show that one.
Oh, let me see.
Sorry, I know. I'm trying to pull them up as we go along. I'm trying to have things ready. So let's scroll through here. I found the one talking about your plumbing. I see that one. Please scroll through here. Was it one of the videos?
Yes, there's a. No, it's. I think it's a straight picture,
Great picture.
and it has a document on there. Wow, I should have. Sorry, I wasn't better prepared.
No, you're okay. This is also my fault. Let's see. Yeah, because I see the videos of this guy coming out to your house. Here, while you're looking for that, let me play the videos that you have of this guy.
Gotcha.
All these people know that I've lived here the whole time.
Gotcha. And that's the other thing is, I'm surprised the city doesn't knock on the door. But like you said, like this young lady came out, and I was like, well, I hadn't talked to you yet, so I didn't want to start asking people like, hey, because that would be the thing. If I worked for the city, I would say, hey, seems like this guy's never here. It looks like it's boarded. I would ask 5 or 6 houses.
Right.
How often do you see this gentleman? This is the name I have that lives there. Is that the person you see? And that's a pretty basic, easy.
So in this video, is your house currently boarded?
Yes, my house is. I left it up as evidence. My house has been boarded up since after I complied with what was on the list. Everything that's on those lists, I complied with as soon as I can, because once you get like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on there, you can pretty much lose your house.
Yeah, and they were putting a couple $100,000 on there, weren't they?
They were doing $4,305 a month plus interest and penalties for somewhere around 5, 6, 7 years or something like that. And so, yeah, it's
And that's just more evidence to how unserious this is. Because if these were serious infractions, they wouldn't let you get away with it for 7, 8 years.
yeah. And here's the thing: is who was harmed? Nobody.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back to the sewer, the one where I measure the sewer.
Oh, here, that was up here. This one?
Yeah, I can't tell. I'm on
Proof of where my utilities are. 2
Yes.
parcels at one address. The south parcel has some utilities. The north parcel of where the utilities are that I use. And then you're showing a video just to show that there is plumbing.
13 feet in. This is the
Yes.
property line over here, going all the way over, and let's go to and it's pretty close to where the fence is.
So you own both parcels of this land? Or did?
I did own 2 parcels, both parcels, and the house sits on both parcels, but the county map didn't say that, and I have proof of that. And the utilities are on both parcels. The north parcel, which is where the tape measure is, that parcel has the only sewer, and it has water outlets on it, and it has the gas.
Is that the
And it
parcel they
can
sold?
No, the other parcel they sold, and they sold it saying that that the north parcel doesn't have utilities. So the whole thing is that a 90-year-old house was mapped wrong by the county. I didn't find this out till long after all these fines.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, this is the whole problem. The guy thought that my utilities were all on the south, and I go, no, I have them on the north.
Well, even
But
then,
then
you're working for the city, you come out and you're like, oh, there's 2 parcels of land here. They're both owned by the same person. There's a house sitting on both parcels. Maybe it should just be considered one parcel.
yes, but then what they did was they sold it, and if you look at one of the postings links that I gave you, it's the one that says that they had a plan to sell it for $1,000. So in the description, it has a plan to sell it for $1,000, and that would be
I'm looking for it. It's in one of the videos you sent me? Or no,
Yeah.
it's a picture.
um,
Oh, I see it. I have it. It's right here. So it says the county sold 1 parcel of my property, then the buyer was given the other parcel for free after the sale.
yes.
Wow. So not only
And so-
did they say that you have 2 parcels of land, they took one from you, sold it, and then was like, oh, here, have the other one for free.
Yes. And then they changed it back and said that now there's not two parcels, there's two independent pieces of land.
Is that what
Which
the
means-
second picture is?
I didn't do that one yet
Okay.
because that just went through not that long ago, but I didn't post that. But this shows all the shenanigans after the fact.
Mm.
So what happens was you see the disclaimer on there. The disclaimer, these are houses that go for $300,000, $400,000. And I have offers in the $300,000 range. And those offers, trying to get all the paperwork together, those offers in the $300 range are twice what ended up being sold for. But they had a plan, and she admits to the plan. And so if you play the other one, which is a video, it's a hidden camera video that says, this is the county admitting they had a plan to sell my house for $1,000.
Right here. I got it.
So play that audio. It's a hidden camera.
Says the county admitted their plan to sell my house for $1,000. They denied me a chance to get the evidence, all because I voted for Trump. Please retweet this. All right, let's check it out.
If a court finds,
I said it's highly unlikely somebody will bid on it.
okay, but what if somebody does? Then what? And here's the whole thing, is that you just admitted that it's highly unlikely, and it probably is. Because
Possible.
they're going to have to come in there and cut the house.
No, they're not. We put a disclaimer on that the house overlaps the other parcel, which is why I don't think anybody will bid on it. But it is a possibility.
Right, but if that's the case, then why don't you just take it off and allow me to get the proof that's needed?
Why would I do that?
So I can get the proof that I
Because I'll
need?
tell you why. Because our plan is if we don't get a bid on it this year, we're going to sell it for $1,000 next year.
They don't treat you like a human. They don't treat you like a person. She's talking to you like you're just some nothing. Your property. Your property
Yes.
to you, not just your property, but you yourself are property being spoken to. That's absolutely crazy to speak to another person like that. And she knows that
Yes.
you're losing your fucking house.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And yes. And I even went in with an accident report. I was run over by a truck, believe it or not. And believe this, it was my truck.
Wow.
I got run over by my own truck. The quick story on that is my F-350 sat for a while and something happened to the fuel system and it would cut in and out periodically. So I was going to pick up my motorcycle that broke a sprocket and I used my pickup truck and it stalled. So I get out at a light where it stalled and I go to jump the truck and somebody going 60 or 65 in a 30 residential slams head on, full speed, double the speed limit, and slams into my F-350, and my F-350, while I'm standing in front of it, breaks my teeth and lands on my leg, and now I got a half-dead leg
Wow.
that I'm still dealing with, that I'm supposed to be getting treatment on. And I gave her the police report saying that I got a half-dead leg, and she smarts off and says, oh, a truck ran over your foot. No,
And then-
truck did not.
Wait, so you're dealing with all this shenanigans with the city, and then you get ran over while
Yes.
this is all going. Wow.
And I told her about that. And I was trying to say, I need more time. And then she said, she admits that they had a plan to take my house. And I'm going, holy shit, that's why they blocked me. Now I want to go to the other one where they blocked me, which is another hidden camera video. They refused payment because they couldn't determine what's owed. So can you play that one? It looks
Yep.
the same video.
I found it. So we have this next video from Carl. Says they refused payment because they couldn't determine what's owed. It's their job to know what is owed. They took my fully paid off house in California, didn't allow me to pay the bill. Yeah, dude, that's so insane that literally it's their job to be enforcing this stuff. It's their job to know what they're enforcing against you. And they're just like, oh, don't care, too bad. You're going to be homeless? That sucks. That's demonic, I would say. Like
Yeah, now play that video.
let's see it.
It was a mistake. All that needs
We
to be
don't want
removed.
their money, we want our taxes.
Okay, I can give you the taxes, no problem.
Oh, really?
Hallway. I don't know if you want to see that. There's a credit union across the street or there's Golden One closed.
I have this on the video, by the way.
The ATM is just outside.
That's a MasterCard. This
I'm
is a
not,
Visa.
we couldn't even determine what's owed at this point.
It was a mistake. All that needs to
We
be
don't want
removed.
their money, we want our.
Can't even determine what's owed at this point. Probably because everything that they've levied against you has been bullshit fines from the start anyway.
Yes, but here's the thing: is all she had to do was push a few buttons on the computer, which she did in other hidden camera video segments that I recorded, and then she gave me the fake numbers. She gave me false numbers, and so I was there ready to tender the money, and she says we can't determine it. That's illegal. You cannot block a citizen from paying their taxes.
Yeah, no, that's insane. I mean, and you're absolutely right. That's why people post videos in a joking manner. They go and pay the speeding tickets and stuff using only pennies. They can't deny the currency. They can't deny it. They are legally obligated to take that money.
And I tendered the money, and she refused to accept it. All right, so they blocked me from getting emergency COVID aid, and there's another one here, which the postal worker, and this starts off with me standing next to the mailbox, and it says proof that the property was occupied, and you see that their commissioned company, the company that the city of Sacramento paid to come out and do a report. All right, did you find that one?
I'm pulling. It's the video, right?
Yeah, and it starts off with a greenhouse in the background, and it says proof that the property was occupied.
Okay, let's see. Scrolling through. I don't see it. Let me search it up on your profile real quick. We'll find it.
It has a greenhouse, and it says X
There it is.
22224.
Got it. Proof that the property was occupied. That's all I needed to know. City of Sacramento not doing their job. Let's
Now listen to the voices.
move over
Carefully
here.
listen to the voices.
All right, let's have a listen. The audio's good. All right.
I'm gonna let you go. Oh,
Excuse me. Can you tell me if I live here? Have you been delivering mail to this box?
never
Okay.
have. Did I heard that correctly? Never have? Yeah. Okay, fair enough. That's all I needed to know. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, they're trying to take my house away because they say it's abandoned.
I'm always talk to you.
Very good. Cool. Listen, I have to run. I'm gonna let you go. Oh,
Excuse me.
What did he say at the end? What did the mailman say?
He said, I always talk to you.
That I always talk to you. So yeah, he's confirming that. Now that's just in the videos I've shown. That's at least 2 people in your neighborhood saying yes, you live here,
Yes.
in front of code enforcement.
No.
Or who is this?
This guy is a commissioned third party,
Okay.
and he did a report. So they hired a company to go out and look at these properties, and then they ignored the report. And I posted that he ignored the report. I don't think I emailed you that one, but it's on my X account. And if you go to my X account, you see that, let's see.
What am I looking for?
It starts off with my saying, City of Sac ignored their own commissioned report. And it was posted on July 9th.
Okay, almost there. July 12th. Keep going. Keep
And
scrolling.
it has a flag.
Okay. Yep, here it is. Found it. And then this is the
Okay.
phone call.
Yes, now play that.
Okay.
And that's the same guy.
Oh, so okay, so this guy on the phone call is the same guy that we just saw speaking with the mailman and you.
Right.
Okay. All right, so this is all right. Let's play this clip. It says the City of Sacramento ignored their own commissioned report, blocked me from state and federal COVID relief because of my political views. They took my house. Let's see this clip.
He is being flagged. Let me know if I can help in any way. He never responded to me at all. So I put in the information, sharing with what I knew based on my conversation with you. He never responded to me. Like I said, I'm a third party. I don't work for the city specifically, so I don't have a lot of their information. So there'd be no work order. I'm a third party that goes out and looks for information, and I try and work with the city on their projects.
Okay.
Okay, so I found the message. Here's what I have. I have Paul. I received your information from Dan Lowther. I'm working on vacant homes in the Sacramento area, and I'm part of the city attorney receiver program with Angel Solis. That's who I worked with. I was part of the receiver program.
Angel
Dan mentioned
Solis? Who is that? Is that a person?
Angel? Yeah, Angel, Angel, Solis. He was the city attorney that I worked with. He's no longer the city attorney. He has stepped down, or moved on, I should say, not stepped down. And there's a new city attorney. I don't know who it is because I'm not a part of this program. But it was called the receivership program. And like I said, I'm just not working it out anymore. It didn't make a lot of sense for me to do it. So here's the information I have. I said, I'm also working with Angel Solis Receiver Program. Dan mentioned that you are the case manager for the address at. I have been to this property and spoken with the owner and occupants. While I was there, the mailman stopped by and stated he has been delivering mail here without interruption. I have direct contact with the owner, Carl, and we'd be more than happy to share this information. He is being flagged. Let me know if I can help in any way. He never responded to me at all. So I put in the information, sharing with what I knew based on my conversation with you. He never responded to me.
So literally the city official that was sent out to go and investigate this for the city, or not city official, like you said, third party. So this third party sent by the city went out to investigate, gave his report, tried to get in contact with the people that hired him, and just basically got ghosted and was telling you, yeah, they didn't respond to me. Wow.
Yes, 100%. And so I'm sitting here trying to figure out what's going on. And there's another one. I emailed you and it says the city utility services inspector says why the water wasn't turned on during the pandemic. So if you can find that one, I emailed that to you at 12:27 p.m.
Okay, wait, that's the one I just showed. Okay, yeah, I have it pulled up. Right,
okay, if you play that one, and it has his phone number.
So, I mean, it's fine to show the phone number. It's a city number, isn't it?
It's a city employee's number, yes.
So yeah, that's fine. That's public info. The city utility services inspector is saying why the water wasn't turned on during the pandemic. I was ordered to board up my house by code enforcement because they didn't know someone lived there, and they ignored their own reports that it was occupied. I played this for the county, yet still lost my fully paid home. Let's see this.
Wasn't turned on. I, Eugene Watkins, and you can put this down in your statement. I'll say it again. You can tape record it or whatever. Not the city, but Eugene Watkins said it was boarded up, so I thought that's why the water wasn't turned on. It wasn't turned on.
So they just assumed that it was boarded up, so the water's turned off.
Yes. Can you put my face on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see this business card?
Put it a little closer. I can make out most of it. Yeah.
Okay. You see the name on there?
Eugene, what is it?
Eugene Watkins?
Oh, yes, I can see it. Sorry, I'm a little blind.
Okay.
I also have a smaller screen.
Okay. And I'm going to turn it around.
Okay.
See what it says?
He works for the city of Sacramento.
Yep. So that's the business card. And this is the business card of, you can't hardly see this. This is Bruce Lewis. Is a code enforcement officer. Yeah, it's hard to tell because it's weathered. But this is the guy that works for code enforcement that was out, and I went and talked to him. Mm-hmm. And he said he would get back to me. Never got back to me. Basically, I was listed or ghosted or whatever by everyone. And this is also Paul Lovato And these are the people, some of the people that were doing this. So you see that this was a mistake. He made the assumption because the house was boarded up, and that cost me my house. But he was saying that he did it, that he made the mistake, not the city. But he works for the city, so it's agency. So the city is responsible.
And they went forward with what he falsified. So
right. And I played that, and I have it recorded, but I haven't posted it. But I played that for the same person that blocked me from making the payment. And she stopped everything. And she went and called him and said, well, I can't get a hold of him. But it was enough to stop everything. And so they changed all their policy. And understand a few things is that the house went up, the parcel went up for sale before, but they said that they weren't going to sell one parcel, that their policy was that they wanted to sell them together. And they thought that the house was on one parcel, but they still wanted to sell it together. And I said, no, the house is on both parcels. So I have an email from them, and I can show you, this isn't going to come up all that well, but I can show you the email where they said that they would come out and inspect. So they delayed the sale, and they said that they would come out and inspect. And she said, and this is the email that's going to be provided. I'm making proof of this. I'll do screenshots. But she said that there's no utilities and that the house sits on one. And then they came out and they said, oh, look at that. It sits on both. But what they didn't do is they didn't come out and inspect the utilities.
yeah.
And I told them, why didn't you inspect the utilities? And she never responded. They ghosted me and then did a quick sale. And I don't believe that they followed the law because they didn't post, because they're supposed to post a certain number of days beforehand. And they didn't do that on the $1,000 sale. And they did that so that they could sell the house for $1,000.
That's absolutely
It's
terrible.
a trick.
Yeah.
It's a trick. And understand that the house south of me sold for $400,000. That's 10 feet away. And the house north of me sold for $350,000. That's 30 feet away.
Yeah, it's not even about getting back the money that they fined you. And that's even besides the point that the fines were bullshit. Let's say the fines were completely legitimate. They're not even making it about getting that money back. They're literally just trying to get rid of the house and make sure it's not owned by you anymore.
Right. And so what that means is that I still had $250,000 coming. And they tricked it so that they would sell the house, sell the parcel, and then change the title after the sale. Now, how do you change the parcel? How do you change the title after the sale?
You don't.
And they changed it twice. Well, it should be.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't that? I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it?
Well, here's the thing: is that I don't know, and I can't even get lawyers to return my calls. It's called a partition action, and it's supposed to go through a partition court. But if the county does it, they can do corrections. So they said, we weren't taking the parcel off, we were correcting. But they can't correct and change land ownership.
Yeah.
And so, but they do it, and they know that nobody's going to do anything about it. Not to mention the fact that there is no case law. Show me one case anywhere, and please, please, please show me one case anywhere on planet Earth where they did something like this, where they sold one parcel in a hurry-up sale, admitting that they could that they could sell it for $1,000 after it didn't sell because of the disclaimer, which liquidates any value I would have had and makes me a homeless senior citizen, a disabled homeless senior citizen, because they blocked me from getting emergency COVID relief. The city water department admitted that they made a mistake, but didn't correct it, and allowed me to lose my house. And now lawyers won't return my calls. When I did get the senior citizen lawyer help, they didn't even know what a 5-year plan was. They didn't even tell me that the house had sold until a month afterwards. They didn't tell me. They said, yeah, well, you owe the taxes. And I tried to say these fines are illegitimate and they're selling one parcel. And they go, yeah. And they just ignored it and they wouldn't, and they stopped returning my calls. And these are federally funded lawyers to help senior citizens. I'm going like, wow, the world hates me.
It's absolutely
how many
terrible
times
story.
can we get struck by lightning?
Yeah.
It's like being struck by lightning 10,000 times in one day. I'm going, come on.
So I have a few questions to help clarify the story for those watching. You've posted several videos of what appears to be people from the city or other places discussing your property. Where are these videos taken? So like the one where the camera's up at the ceiling. What building are you in when you're taking these videos, if you can say?
The hidden camera one is actually 2 videos. One is a GoPro type helmet camera on my motorcycle, and that one had given questionable audio. And the other one cuts in during that, and it's from an iPad where I just pushed the record on the iPad, on the front-facing camera of the iPad. That's why the iPad's staring up at the ceiling. And she got kind of nervous, but she was shaking. Laura Jorgensen.
So what building? What building are you
That's
in?
the county tax place. The county, the place you pay your taxes.
Okay.
And it's also
the city's tax collection building.
No. County's
collection.
The city is the code enforcement, and the county is the taxes.
Okay.
And that's where she said, we don't want their money, we want our money. So I flip out my credit cards just like that, and I also have a video showing how much money I had. I think it was $33,000 I had ready, willing, able to pay. And they have to offer you the 5-year plan. And so I would have easily been able to pay the 5-year plan with $33,000.
Yeah.
But they blocked me by saying we can't determine what it is. And they can't legally do that.
No, it's like we discussed previously, that if they're going to fine you, that's like a cop pulling you over, handing you a ticket, and then the reason being blank. It's like, oh yeah, here's your ticket, figure it out.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
you know what?
Was my taillight broken? Was I speeding? Did I run a stop sign? Like, what happened?
Right. And he says, no, just give me your $100,000 car, or,
give me your Lamborghini. It's confiscated now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is pure corruption. But here's the thing is, when you mention that, I actually have fines posted on my property that are blank, and I can't find them right now. I'm going through a ton of paperwork. My mind's actually going crazy because of the stress. But I want to show you
this is a lot of stress to be handling for someone.
I want to show you something real quick.
You're supposed to be retired, like you said on the After Dark not that long ago. You're supposed to be retired. You're supposed to be out playing golf and fishing. You're not supposed to be dealing with this shit. Oh, he just stepped away.
Okay, so
Joey, you're gonna piss me off. You're gonna piss me off, Joey. There's so much news today, Joey. You're gonna piss me off.
Here's my proof that I worked with these people. Hard to see.
Yeah.
But I worked with these people. Here's where they tried to get me wanted me to sign up for the abandoned house project. And so this whole thing, all these fines were because I didn't fill out a form. And so here's sealed documents. I don't know if you can see these, but they're still sealed. You can see the edge is sealed over. And one of these has duct tape, I think. This is not sealed, it's opened. This one is sealed, and this one is sealed, and these don't say water. I haven't opened them, but I'm making the claim that they don't say water. And the whole thing was about water. I showed her, and this is on video at the county office, doesn't say water, doesn't say water, doesn't say water, doesn't say water, doesn't say water.
Yeah.
Okay? And she says, it doesn't matter. And it does matter, because legally they have to tell you what you have to fix.
Right.
But here's the thing, is that if you look at the ones that they said they served, they say water. So what they did is they doctored government documents. All right. Now, I'm 90-ish% sure of this statement that I'm making.
Well,
right?
actually, it's not even that you have to be. You could be 100% sure about that, because I have this is one of the first things that I pulled up. It shows your supposed infractions that they're alleging, and then this is the written document that was given to you, and then online, when you go online, it says that it was a plumbing description. The description is plumbing issue, inadequate sanitation.
Yes.
So they're
100%.
outright open. They're openly giving you different reasons. They're saying on one hand it's water, and then giving you documents saying it's a whole list of other things.
And my understanding is that that's a. Why does my thing said idle? Am I coming through?
You're good. You're still good.
Okay. I was just noticing something. Okay, and that I believe is a felony. And I believe what happened was that they started out, they're going to bang me for a couple grand. All right. And after banging me for a couple grand and me not bending over or whatever you like to call it, they decided that they're going to bang the living crap out of me, and they know how to manipulate the system, because that's what they do all day. So they manipulate the system to deny me COVID relief at the state level and at the federal level, which worked and was admitted to and is proven. And then they doctor the documents to cover their tail, and then they get the county to do a hurry up sale to make sure that I don't get a stinking dime for a house that's in a $400,000 neighborhood, so that my life is destroyed and I become homeless. And this is after they know that the house sits on both properties. They know that their maps are wrong.
So that brings me to my next question, which you did explain, but I'll give you this opportunity to elaborate further. Why did they split the property, which your house sits on, into different parcels? Why was it split? It was just like, was it what you said? It was just a mapping issue that never went corrected?
The house, the building has 4 foundations, and it's approximately 90 years old. 90 to 100 years old. And back then, when I went to the city, they had no house on the property. Some of the maps said no house. All they said was a driveway. It used to be a shop. It was converted to a house, and I literally had a roof over a roof. Believe that. And I had a sidewalk that was poured that fell apart. I have newspaper clippings from 1944, 1945. So they did modifications in the 40s. This is coming up on nearly 100 years old, 80 years old, whatever. So the house has been modified, reworked, and so on. And so as I was doing various repairs, I noticed various things. I noticed that their maps were wrong. And so I tried to get them to correct the maps, and then I just gave up, because you're dealing with the government, and I just said, who cares? And that's what caused the problem, was their maps being wrong is what triggered everything.
Yeah, their maps being wrong allowed this guy to screw you over, because he was having a bad day and he decided to ruin your life.
Yeah.
Literally, and so what happened.
And so instead of them correcting the maps and say, oh, wow, you're right, they decided we got to do a hurry up sale because we got doctored documents and somebody screwed someone over and we have to cover some tail. And so in order to cover some tail, they decided they're going to destroy a senior citizen's life. And no lawyer, everyone that looks at this says, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to say a curse word.
You can say whatever the fuck you want, Carl.
All right. And so here's the thing, is that this was because of the maps being wrong. And I told him that on the first visit. And that's when he just said, yeah. And here's the thing, is who was harmed? If you look at what I did, what they claim I did, is basically not having water on both parcels. All right.
Yeah. And
now I did.
I have a follow-up question to that. Has the city tried to work with you at all to rectify or deal with the water issue, or it's literally just you have a water issue, deal with it?
The city actually ghosted me. The one guy that came out, he actually ran away from me. Believe it or not, the guy Eugene Watkins. I tried to pull up my phone, and because he came out to check, and he was saying things, and he wouldn't allow me to record it. And then the next day, thankfully, he recorded it, and he said on that one that you played, when he said, "This is Eugene Watkins and you can record this." And that's when he admitted that the city made a mistake.
Yeah.
And so the city should have corrected it, but the city didn't work with me. And I said, the state of California had free water for everyone. All right. I don't know if you remember that or not, but during the COVID lockdown, everybody gets free water. I was entitled to that. He said that they didn't do that because they thought the house was abandoned. And that's why Paul Laporte, I hope I get his name right, Paul Laporte ordered me to board up the house. It was a trick.
All they have to do is go to the utilities and say, "Hey, is someone getting water here? And is there a water bill every month?" Like literally,
Right.
that's so. The laziness and corruption of government will never cease to amaze me.
Right. And so here's the thing is that I want everybody to know what happened. I mean, this is the damage to society from me is zero. I didn't throw trash in people's yards. I'm a good neighbor. You can ask anybody. And here, before this happened, I'm sliding gracefully into retirement. I'm doing gig work to delay my Social Security so it's enough to get a reasonable living. And I'm sliding into a pretty decent retirement. All right. I'm living the American dream. I have a house fully paid off, been paid off for a quarter century. I pay my bills as I had in lump sum. And there's evidence to show that, yes, I paid the $13,000 in 2017. I was entitled to the emergency COVID relief. I participated in the lockdown. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing different. But somehow they were able to manipulate things. So I end up broke, in debt, and they're sending me to collections now. I'm getting bills for thousands of dollars. I don't have it in front of me, but I have somewhere around $20,000 in collections. So someone with an amazing credit is being destroyed and going to be homeless, being evicted from his own property, all because they decided they didn't like me. They were triggered by Trump being in office, and they were going to nail me to the wall. And they said, well, you should have appealed. When I appealed, the grass not growing fast enough, they made a joke out of it. And they said, it's not a game of gotcha. It's not about how fast the grass grows. And then when my turn came up, she testified that I had enough grass, but it didn't grow fast enough, which is not a code. They just made it up. And they can do that. They can make up anything that they want. And like I said before, I worked with these people. I worked side by side with Dia Bradford and Linda Douglas and O'Connor. I worked with these people side by side. They didn't recognize me because I was in my work uniform. I worked with these people while they were doing this. And I saw where they took an elderly black man's pickup truck because he took the lid off the carburetor, the air cleaner off the carburetor to prime the carburetor. That's what you have to do with old pickups. You have to prime the carburetor or else it will not start. And it was a dent side Ford from the 70s. And so they took it from them, and I'm the guy that took it. They ordered me to take it, and Dia Bradford was sitting there, and she said, pop the hood. And she was hunting the car. She was hunting around the car for any reason to take it. She's supposed to have a reason before they call me out. So they call me out and they search. And if they find a broken light bulb or anything, all they do is make the claim. They take the truck. And a pickup truck in a poor neighborhood for an elderly black man is a job. A pickup is a job. Of course, I'm talking about hauling stuff, moving people, hauling stuff, junk, furniture, whatever. That's a job. In the poor neighborhood, a pickup means you got a job. All right. And so they took his job, and that's how they were flushing black people out of Oak Park.
Wow.
And I remember on the news, Black Lives Matter was actually saying you're taking away our low-cost neighborhood. And what they were doing was chasing out the black people, because Oak Park was black from the 70s to the 2000s. And then they started using code enforcement and law enforcement, and they would take your car for any reason, zero tolerance. Any reason to take your car, any reason to take your house. And they kept doing this until they flushed out the black people. They flushed out the black people, and all of a sudden, the gang membership and the prostitution and all that was walking up and down the street, all of a sudden, that goes down. Home values kick up. They get more property taxes. And when someone like me is covered by Prop 13, they nail you they pound you like a nail. And they keep pounding you.
We got a comment in the chat. We got a comment in the chat. He said a lot of the complaints that black people had about people on the right, but people on the right told them to shut up about it. It is now happening to non-blacks. So talking about code enforcement, what you're talking about, they used to send code enforcement into minority neighborhoods, but now it's happening to everybody. They're sending code enforcement into places, and they're just taking your stuff. They're like you said, they're making up all different sorts of codes that you're violating. You got a broken tail light or something, there goes your property. Like that's insane.
And here's proof. Here's proof I did that. I still have my uniform. Here's proof. All right. I did that, and in the neighborhood that I work in, I live in. All right. And I remember down the street, they took this car and made these people walk. And she started screaming, "I hate white people." It was a bunch of black people. It's like 4, 5 black people in a inexpensive car. And they were just driving around. And I was the person that took the car under the order of code enforcement. And then another one was a crack. And check this out, a crack in the windshield. And I'm like, wow, I have a crack in my windshield in my one of my other cars.
Yeah, they better take your car, huh?
Yeah. And they took her car. I was the guy. I did it. I was there.
Yeah.
All right. I have proof. And here's the thing is that back when under, I think it's Obama, when they had that shooting in the street and they did that commissioned report about black neighborhoods. And then they had this proof of one young black woman that lost her car because of a crack in the windshield. And they said that the fine was like $500 to get her car back. So she lost her car and lost her job and her transportation because of a crack in the windshield. And her life was
stuff like this. What you're talking about is exactly why we have a homeless problem in California, though. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't afford to fix your windshield? Let me hit you with a fine, and then when you can't pay it, repo your car, and then when you can't pay for that, you lose your job and you go homeless. That's the series of events that cause people to go homeless.
Isn't that exactly what's happening to me?
It's
a guy in
what's
his
happening
60s.
to you is even worse. They're doing all sorts of shady shit to, like what we were just talking about. That's something that happens, just as a fact of what the laws are. What's happening to you seems deliberate.
Yes, it is, and it's deliberate because of Prop 13, because of somebody triggered weeks. I think it's actually weeks after Trump got into office, and they wanted to cover their tail. So they're covering for each other. And that's why you see the evidence where the government documents say plumbing, but the ones served onto the house don't say plumbing.
Yeah.
And that's a federal crime. All right. And that's what the federal government needs to come and look at. How can they doctor the documents? And now I am facing being evicted in a matter of days. I'm expecting a notice from the sheriff any day. All right.
So what are obviously part of your next steps are, trying to get on shows like mine, trying to get your story out there. What do you plan on doing, next after the show? Like, what do you plan on doing? Obviously, I'm going to try to share clips from this all over. I'm going to, like I told you, I'm going to take a segment out of this from the live because I'm going to talk about more news stuff here coming up. But I want to have our conversation separate. I'm going to post it separately, and then I'll have clips circulating. Have you tried to get in contact with like any local news or any news stations or anything like that? Obviously, I know you tried to get in contact with Tim, and he said he would look into it. I'm not sure if Tim's tried to contact you, but where are we at on that? Are you trying to look for local news?
I don't think Tim retweeted it, and if he would, that would be amazing. But he didn't look into it. You're talking about Tim Pool.
Yes, because you called in and he
Okay.
said he would look into it.
Did he? Because I don't remember that part.
It's a little hard to hear. It's probably not your fault. Me as a viewer listening in, you get better audio from the panelist. So maybe you were while you were speaking. I think he said it while you were speaking, so you probably didn't hear it.
Yeah.
But he said that he was going to look into it.
I looked into the guy that does the Dilbert cartoon, Scott Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a clip on his. Basically, I've been doing everything I can to get attention, and I got and then I posted a clip, and that got a little bit of attention, and then I tried to go back and get him to actually tweet or do something, and he said if I post again, he was going to block me. Basically, I'm trying to spam. I'm shouting into the wind. All right. And
and people are getting upset at you for being so vocal. But what do they expect you to do? What would they do if they were facing what you're facing?
Yeah. And I just posted on Reddit, and I got blocked. YouTube removed my account, and I just posted it when I was doing this on YouTube. I posted links to YouTube. I started paying cash money, credit card money, to get it promoted, and YouTube took it down. After I did paid money for links, I go, well, that just blew about $500. Thank you. And so I started paying to get on Tim Pool's, the $25 a month. And I've been paying for that for a year and a half to try and get on there. And I started saying, hey, I'm being canceled. People said, we're all getting canceled. And people were so interested in just getting, I'm the first one in the after party, and I'm the first one posted and stuff like that, but they kept blocking me. And then I get deleted, and other places on Rumble, they just automatically block me and say, you can't post your link. And a couple people, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tries, you get a couple people, like you are one of maybe 5 or 6 that actually did something.
And that's terrible, because looking at all the information you're posting, none of it's doctored. It's all out in the open. This is all very, very blatant bullshit. This is blatantly bullshit, and no one's helping you with it. I'm not a large platform. I'm not like Tim. Tim is one of the people that should actually be speaking about this. We had a chat earlier in the show from one of my friends, and apparently in a video today, Tim said that there's no news today. What the fuck do you mean there's no news? I have about 12 other articles pulled up to talk about once we're done with our conversation here. And even then, you and I could probably do another hour talking about this whole thing. So to say that there's no news is bullshit.
Yes. And here's the thing is, I'm trying to be very, very light-footed with Tim, because if he bans me or if he blocks me, then I pretty much lost hope, because he's the only hope that I had. And I'm trying to get onto a show every evening, and I post a couple of links. But if I can get like 5 or 6 people to all post in like a stream, boom, 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 to try and point to it, then maybe that'll get some attention. And the retweets and on Rumble, which I don't have much of a following on Rumble, but even when I try to pay for this on X, it ends up blocking me. X ends up automatically halting my paid.
I have it right here.
promo.
Why is X halting my paid promos? It was okay to post for hours, then I do a promo and it's halted. And then it shows here that your promo is being halted. It's a 45-second clip. You have a bunch of people that are added. You're trying to share your give, send, go. There's nothing here that would indicate spam.
Right.
Sure, you're tagging a bunch of people, but you're trying to get their attention.
Right. And I don't know what to do. But here's the thing is that at some point in life, you just want, if you were beaten the shit out of or raped or whatever, something really bad happened to you, you would want people to know. All right. And that's the least, is that you want people to know. And I just posted to Reddit in one of my disguised accounts, and I can't post in Reddit's conservative because I don't have a tag to do that. And so I posted in the other ones, and right off the bat, somebody started going, oh yeah, another claim to this, and they're saying it's fake.
Mm.
And so, and even when I was talking, if you go back and play the video, when I was talking to Tim Pool, that's the biggest highlight that I have so far. And people were saying, Carl, get to the question. And I'm trying to get my word out, and people were saying, get to the question. And somebody in there, I don't remember who, it might have been you, but somebody in there saying, I looked at the guy's post. He looks legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I think that
somebody
was me.
said, yeah. And so somebody said that. I go, yes, I have proof.
I was reading the chat on the Discord, and a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, he won't stop talking." And it's like, well, yeah, no one's listening to this guy. He's trying to get people to listen to his story. You have all the evidence on your ex. If Tim had just pulled it up right there, he would have had a story to talk about for the rest of the night.
Right. And here's the thing about that is that, have you ever heard of the old gypsies curse?
I've heard of it, but explain it.
Okay, it's kind of a racist thing, so maybe it's not politically correct. But way back in the 90s, I was involved in a lawsuit. And there was something I came up that someone posted on a bulletin board back in the old days. And it said, it's an old gypsy's curse. And the gypsy's curse was, may you be right in a lawsuit. And I go, that's what happened to me, because I was involved in a contract dispute over computer software in the 90s. And the others, I went in pro per, the other side withheld evidence until the trial. I'm like, how can they do that? Well, they just did it. And the judge kept ordering them to come up with the evidence, but they kept refusing. And it went right to the judge, and the judge withheld it until 20 minutes till the end of the trial, and then gave me the evidence. I'm like, holy crap, what kind of kangaroo trial is this?
Yeah.
And this is what happens. The gypsy's curse, may you be right in a lawsuit. And if you look at what happened to Donald Trump, where you have the highest court in the state of Colorado, the highest court in the state of Colorado ruled that a presidential candidate could be removed from the ballot for a crime he was not accused of. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it held. And then the Supreme Court 9-0 said no. So how is it that the Colorado Supreme Court, or the Colorado Superior, whatever it's called, would rule that the primary candidate could be removed from a federal election ballot? And how can you take expired misdemeanors, and how can you do all this stuff? It's called lawfare.
Yep.
And the thing is that they can do this because certain people are in control and they know how to work the papers.
Well, and
they know how to do the paperwork.
That's why our conversation today was perfect for the video today. The title of the video today is Wars Abroad and the War Here at Home. Because we are in a war here at home. It's not kinetic yet, but we have things like lawfare. You look at like things you're pointing out with President Trump. You look at circumstances like with you. You look at there's so many different cases around the country right now where we see lawfare being levied against political opponents.
Right. And you see this where they doctored government documents. One says water or says plumbing, sanitation, and the other doesn't.
Yep.
And I have a stack of those. So what they do is they don't tell you what you're supposed to fix. And I even told the county tax person, and she said, it doesn't matter because you have to respond to this. You have to appeal. I go, when I did appeal, which was the grass not growing fast enough, they made a joke out of it and I lost the appeal. I have been convicted. I could be the only person in world history that's been convicted of his grass not growing fast enough.
It's insane.
And it was upheld. And I told her that, and she said, yeah. And Tim, when I brought that up to Tim, that's when he got triggered. This is where they get on the power trip. And you see those videos about officers. They ask you for your ID, and you say, I'm not going to roll down my window. I'm not going to give you my ID. Am I being detained? And you see them freak out.
Yep.
Because what happens is you questioned their authority. As soon as you question their authority, bam, they're going to pound you like a nail.
Yep.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, you don't question their authority because they'll show you what that authority can do.
Yes. And you know what? Tim McMillan was right. They can do that. And they did. It's illegal to do. It's unconstitutional. We have a constitution that protects people and protects property. And this has violated so many things in the Constitution. But nobody gives a damn. A lawyer won't touch it, but they can do it. And the process is the punishment.
Well, yeah, the process is the punishment, and the laws in the Constitution don't matter if they're not enforced.
Right. And that's the thing. If they can do this to me, can I ask you, if you own property, you don't have to answer.
I mean, I don't, but...
Okay. Do you plan on ever owning property?
Of course.
That's the keystone of the American dream, isn't it?
Yeah,
or at least
to own a property, own a business, have a family. That's the American dream.
And they destroyed look at what I was doing. I ran away from home at 17, dropped out of high school, worked my way through college. I bussed tables, washed dishes. I washed a lot of dishes, fixed cars, and so on. Lived in the ghetto, which Oak Park was. I lived in the ghetto more than half my life, and put up with all this stuff in order to get my way through college. I got a bachelor's of science. I started a software company. I was known in the industry, in the software industry. I was known for my skills. When I worked in the banking industry, when I went from one job to another job, the other job knew that somebody had quit because word had went out, because I was known in the industry as being one of the best ever as a systems analyst. And when I had my software company, I was shipping artificial intelligence algorithms inside of commercial business applications in the 1980s. No joke, and I can prove it.
Mm.
And so I know this stuff. And this is why I went on these deep dives chasing the rabbit that I told you about. 40 years I chased the rabbit on multi-threaded games. And what I'm trying to do is change the economy so that the economy works for everyone, so that other people can do what I did and other people can have the American dream instead of this hockey stick economy horseshit where middle class can't make it work. And the government is now destroying people like me that made it work. A high school dropout, a college graduate, bought his house, fixed it up, and was ready to retire, and the government just squishes this guy. And nobody will do a damn thing. The lawyers won't touch it.
Yeah.
I can't get a lawyer. I'm waiting for a call back from a partition lawyer, and I explained I'm going to be homeless. And they said, we will call you back. They don't call back. I've been ghosted by so many. They say, we don't have that skill. We don't know this. We don't know that. Even the ones federally funded that are supposed to be there to help senior citizens will not even return phone calls. And I have emails proving that. They won't return the email. The county won't do their job that they say that they do. They're supposed to come out and do an inspection. They said that they would. Once they realize the house sits on both and that there was a mistake, holy shit, they went full throttle. Get this guy destroyed quick. So they quickly did the $1,000 and they admitted to the plan.
Yeah.
And listen to her voice closely. She said, why would I do that?
Yeah. It's
And I
literally
said,
her job to do that. And
yes, but listen to the tone of her voice. Her voice goes up. Why would I do that?
yeah.
And then she says why she won't. I said, that gives me time to get the evidence. And she says, I'll tell you why, because we have a plan. We have a plan. We could sell your house for $1,000. I go, you're doing this to someone who's being paid by your tax dollars. You're destroying somebody's life. And they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to act in the public interest. But they don't.
Yeah.
And then they alter the title. How can you change the title after the sale?
You shouldn't be able to. It's insane.
Yeah.
Carl, I do want to, we've had an amazing conversation. The stuff you were talking about in terms of the economy, super interesting stuff there. I'm gonna get in contact with my buddy, see if he can have you on. He loves talking about the economy and the Federal Reserve. So that wouldn't be about. I know you're going through a lot right now, but if you wanted to talk about some more stuff relating to the economy, I'm sure he'd love to have you on for that. Just to distract you from the craziness going on.
Right.
At least for like maybe an hour or something. But I'll DM you about that, and I'll DM him.
Okay.
I'm glad to get you on today. I'm sorry that these are the circumstances that we met, and that the reason. I wish I had you on under better circumstances, but
Right.
I'm glad.
Thank you.
I'm glad that we could get your story out there. Like I said, I'm gonna be making tons of clips and stuff like that. And you're welcome to come on again in the future. Please, if you want to say anything to close out, where can we follow you? I have your X pulled up right now. I also see you have a Give Send Go link. So if anyone wants to support you, I assume the Give Send Go is where they can go for that.
Yes, and it did kick in a little bit when I was on the Timcast show. One thing that you can do is to try and get a bit of a shout out during the Tim Pool. If I get multiple people at the same time to say the same thing at the same time, that would make it kind of, boom, here it is. And then hopefully other people will be able to do that. So if they can share the link, share the post, share everything, and do that during the Timcast and say, hey, Tim, remember you said you would look into this. Let's do a follow-up. And when Tim says he doesn't have time, if we can get Tim to repost, if you can just get him to repost on my X, that would put it in front of like 500,000 people or something.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even a retweet
right now,
for your story, or like there's a lot of things that Tim could do that even he himself wouldn't have to do personally to help you out. And he's already spoken to you onto the call-in. He let you give that 11-minute spiel. So there's no way he doesn't know about your situation at this point. So I like you said, maybe we can get this in front of him. Maybe we can get this in front of somebody else. But
and there's also those people that do the culture show, and I'm sure you have some other people that you network with. Even if it's a small podcast, you'd be surprised, because I got one lady on X that retweeted me, and that triggered 2 other people to retweet.
Yep.
And it took a few days. And so just getting a couple people to retweet, that makes a huge difference. And make sure that they retweet, because I think that's the most traction. All we have to do is get Fox News to cover this. If Fox News covers this, and if Donald Trump listens to this, game over for the city of, and you know what? I have to point out something, that Donald Trump would salivate over the sanctuary city of Sacramento getting a kick in the you-know-what because of this. And to have Bondi, Pam Bondi, and others actually visit and point this out and rub this into Newsom's face.
My friend is actually asking if you'd like to be on his show tomorrow. Outworld Live is the name of the show. They're on right after my show. So for you and I in California, he goes on about 2:35 p.m. is when he starts. He's wanting to know if you'd want to join him tomorrow.
Yes, give him my. Can you link him?
I'll link him your Twitter, and then I'll have him add you on Discord.
Okay.
All
awesome.
right, but anyway, anything else you want to add before we sign off here?
I'm going to continuously post. I have a huge stack of evidence, and I have a lot of, I believe, very incriminating evidence. I have a ton of those things where it shows he didn't tell me what needed to be fixed, and that was the trick that they pulled. I have a ton of those, and I'm going to keep posting those and keep posting those. And it takes me a while to go through all this and to edit this. And I'm trying to do this in a hurry, plus my mind's going a little crazy, but keep checking back. I'm going to keep posting, and I'm trying to simultaneously get a lot of followers and trying to do paid promos and so on. But the retweets and the promos should get it enough airborne or enough above the radar to where maybe I can get the attention of people. And I'm trying to get Steve Lato, which covers these kinds of cases, and the civil rights lawyer on YouTube. So if you can do shout outs to them on there, the civil rights lawyer has like 1 million something, and there's Audit to Audit. And these are people that go after government corruption. And so they should be ready, willing, and able to take this on, because this is easy pickings for them.
You would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Carl, I wish it was under better circumstances, but I'm glad we could have you on today.
Okay. You have 100% appreciation for me for everything that you've done.
It's not much, but I'm glad I can help the little bit that I can. Like I said, I'll be sharing clips and stuff. I'll send you links to any of the clips I share from today. And like I said, feel free to share any of the clips from the show today. You're more than welcome to. I'll keep me updated too. If there's updates to the story, feel free to DM me so I can update it, or we can have you on again to talk about it.
Okay, and when we're on Tim Pool, try to convince the other people to do some type of shout out thing to get above the radar.
I'll see if I can get some people to call in to maybe shout out the show today and shout out your story. And then next time I call in, I won't be able to call in again for another like 2 weeks. But next time I call in, I'll be sure to shout out this stream so people can come see our conversation.
Awesome. Well, I hope it works, and let's see what happens. Thanks again.
Yeah, of course. I hope the best for you, Carl. Good luck, and Godspeed, man.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, that was Carl J. That was his story. He is being persecuted in California for his political views. It all started when code enforcement began fining him, and he racked up these fines, thousands of dollars a month, and they're now trying to put him out on the streets. He's been dealing with this for over 5 years, and no one seems to be picking up this story. So please, if you guys could share this, go to his X account, go share this information. From everything that I've looked at, this seems legit. Everything that he has said seems legit. This guy needs help. I'm not big enough to share this story. You guys need to help me get this story out there. There's a lot of things that I want to continue to cover today, but I'm glad that we could have Carl on to speak about everything today. It's very unfortunate that those are the circumstances that we had him on for today, but you know, it is what it is, and I hope that we can get a good resolution to all of this. Hopefully this actually can get in front of someone who has more of an audience than I do. What are you guys saying in the chat? Tyler, if you're going 10 more minutes, I need to... Tyler, if you are going 10 more minutes, I need to rant. Okay, never mind. Joey, I'm still going. I'm not ending. I didn't even touch any of my news stories from today. I'm not ending the show. Guys, I have so many things to talk about today. I'm gonna cut that part out and make it its own show and post it separately because I want to make sure his conversation is heard by a bunch of people. But we're gonna move on to some other stories from the day. I have so many things to talk about for the day. We haven't even started. Just to start, I feel like this is very fitting considering the conversation that we just had. And there's a CA bill that would fine social media sites that allow algorithmic spread of hate speech. Now, we've had this conversation multiple times. I don't know if I've had the conversation on my show just yet, but hate speech is arbitrary, and it is defined by person to person. There's no actual definition of that. But there is a bill making its way through the California legislature that could lead to 7-figure fines for social media platforms if they're unable to keep a proliferation of hate speech under control. Senate Bill 771, authored by State Senator Henry Stern, Democrat in Los Angeles, has already passed the California Senate and is now being reviewed in the state assembly. The bill targets the use of algorithms by social media companies that amplify harmful content, particularly hate speech. This is simply to say that just because it's an algorithm doesn't mean it's not some kind of expression from that platform, Stern said while introducing the bill to Assembly Privacy and Consumer Protections Committee on June 24th. And so, when your algorithm facilitates and forgot how to speak for a second. And so when your algorithm facilitates the distribution, say, of criminal content or makes crimes worse or adds to abuses or things that result in, say, hate crimes, that they'll be held to the same account and standards as an average citizen would if they were facilitating the same kind of crime. Now, in general, I actually agree with that. Tim has talked about multiple times how pornography should not be protected under the freedom of speech. You should not be free to post porn on public social media platforms. So if that's what we were talking about, that's fine. You shouldn't be able to commit crimes on public social media platforms. But what this is talking about is fines for spreading hate speech. So if this becomes law, social media platforms that allow hate speech to spread could face a $500,000 civil penalty, and if a platform knowingly violates the law, the fine could increase to as much as $1 million. A violation of this law, where the plaintiff in the civil lawsuit is a minor, allows the court to double the penalty. So, I mean, in general, that's not a bad idea. I would love to fine X, Facebook, Instagram over $2 million for every instance of a minor seeing pornography. I would love to do that, but that's not what we're. Oh, thank you guys for hitting the like goal today. I really appreciate it. But again, share the video. We got to get the story out for Carl and stuff like that. I want to make sure his story is heard. It's absolutely insane what they're doing to them. But again, we shouldn't be surprised. This story is also from California. They're trying to fine companies for speech. The Human Rights Campaign and the Center for Countering Digital Hate reported a 400% increase in anti-LGBTQ plus harmful rhetoric on major platforms. Is that because I can say faggot again? The bill also cited the Anti-Defamation League 2024's audit of anti-Semitic incidents, which found a dramatic and sustained surge, the highest ever recorded since the ADL began tracking such incidents 46 years ago. Let's see. Concerns over free speech and Section 230. Critics argue that SB 771 could conflict with First Amendment protections depending on how the law is interpreted and enforced. Opponents warn that the companies might over-censor content to avoid fines, even if the content is legal. The Computer and Communications Industry Association, which represents tech and communication firms, opposes the bill, which stating raises serious constitutional concerns by infringing on the editorial and discretion of platforms. First Amendment rights that have been long protected for publishers, broadcasters, and digital services alike. The CCIA also contends that the bill conflicts with Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which was passed in 1996. Section 230 generally shields online platforms from liability for user-generated content, which it should. Platforms should not be liable for things that users say, nor should I be liable for things that my comment section says. There's things that are said in my comment section all the time that I don't agree with. I should not be liable for that. And neither should X be liable for the things posted on their platform. But, however, that does, you do have to consider illegal conduct, such as pornography. Pornography should not be shown to minors in any regard. Tyler, check Discord real quick. What's up? What's on Discord? Logo, covers, comments on screen. Wait, what? Oh, I see what you're talking about. That's because I just added that. Thank you, Joey. Let's see. I just added the logo, that's why. Boop. Joey's talking about the stuff up here being blocked. There you go. You guys were all hidden up there. Hang on a minute. Expand that. And then I can tuck you guys over here. Actually, I'll put you guys over in this corner. You guys can be in that corner. There you go. Now you look, I'm talking about censorship. Meanwhile, I'm here censoring you guys. That's crazy. That's the double standard. The double standard, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. The double standard. Wait. I was hiding. Let's see. What? Kitty Gov said the Adult Diaper League, the ADL. Okay. A whole 4 to 6 years ago. How did we ever survive before that? After COVID, everyone should have a healthy hatred of government and commies. Yeah, absolutely. Tyler's Rumble chat hates commies and are proud of it. There you go. These grifting newscasters. I know, I'm sorry. Covers my good eye. If I can't see you, you can't see me. There we go. All right, so back to the story, though. This is ridiculous. I mean, this is blatantly against the Constitution. you should not be fined for hate speech. The definition of hate speech has never been clearly defined. I can give a very simple definition of hate speech that for some reason Democrats and people don't use. Literally, what is hate speech? Hate speech, as I would define it, is speech that insults someone. That's all hate speech is. Hate speech is speech in which insults someone. Or you can include another definition to that: speech in which derides a specific group of people or just derides someone. Speech that derides someone. Speech that insults someone. That's literally what hate speech is. And that is 100% protected by the First Amendment, as it should be. And if it's not going to be protected by the First Amendment, that's why I have the Second Amendment, which, again, if you didn't see that on Friday, big news out of California, I no longer need a background check to go get ammunition. Oh, what's that? You didn't know California required that? Sorry, it doesn't anymore. But yeah, when I went to go get ammo for my 12 gauge, I would need to bring all these different kinds of documentations. And it gets even better, because if you don't have a real ID, which I only got recently and I'm waiting for it in the mail, I would literally need to show up to whatever retailer it is to buy ammunition. I would need my driver's license, proof of residency, and birth certificate to buy fucking ammunition. If I'm buying ammo, wouldn't you already assume that I have a gun? Like, if I need a background check to go and buy the ammo, do I need a background check to continue owning the weapon every day? Like, that's stupid. We never got an answer as to whether or not that's a German flag above Tyler's name in the left-hand top corner. Yes, I'm sponsored by Germany. Sponsored by Germany, yes. Who's asking that? Shitty Gov? Yeah, we never got to answer that. Shitty Gov, I'm actually German. I hope you know that. I actually am German. I just like the colors, guys. I just like the colors. I'm sorry. He is sponsored by Germany from 1933. Look at you guys trying to censor me. I'm literally sitting here, minding my own business, talking about government censorship, and you guys are trying to censor me? Like, that's crazy. I can't believe you guys would try to censor me like that. No, but this story is absolutely ridiculous. Hopefully it doesn't actually pass, but it said here that it's already making its way through the legislature. It's being reviewed by the state assembly. This is absolutely unconstitutional, blatantly, openly unconstitutional, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll keep this story updated. Obviously, this directly affects me, but we'll see where it goes. But I'm gonna cut that out. We're gonna move on to the next segment. Look at that, guys. I'm trying to get more professional. Right there, bam. That's where that's gonna get cut, and then from there, all of this right here is gonna get cut out too. And then I'm going to move on to the next story. It's very nice. Very nice. Guess what, guys? I'm not high today. Even though I should be. Let's move on. Let's see. What do I want to talk about? I'll save that for the show's going long today for sure. I'm going to save some of this stuff for tomorrow to talk about with TJ. So,
that's such old history.
That's such old history. Yeah, that'll be old history tomorrow, too. Let's talk about this story over the weekend, because this was absolutely, and therein lies the problem. All hail Tyler. More professional with German engineering. What? Hate speech, hate crimes are literally just the justice system saying they hate you more. I don't feel treating you like everyone else who's done this is enough. Yeah, sounds about right. All right. In other news, over the weekend, we had a he was legally armed civilian and brave bystanders end Michigan Walmart stabbing spree. So, looks like in Traverse City, Michigan, what began as an ordinary Saturday afternoon shopping trip turned into chaos and terror when a man armed with a folding knife launched a brutal stabbing spree inside a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan. 11 people were stabbed randomly and without warning before the attacker was finally stopped thanks to the courage of everyday Americans, including a legally armed citizen. The suspect, identified as 42-year-old Bradford James Gill, reportedly entered the store around 4:10 p.m. and began attacking people near the checkout counters. He stabbed a total of 11 victims, both men and women, ranging from 29 to 84 years old, including a Walmart employee. Victims were attacked inside the store, in the vestibule, and even just outside the entrance. Witnesses described scenes of horror as people screamed, fled, and attempted to help the wounded. One employee reported seeing a victim stabbed in the eye. At least 3 of the injured reported required emergency surgery. Thankfully, as of Sunday, all victims are expected to survive. Hospital officials have described their recovery as encouraging, with several already moved from critical to fair condition. So no deaths happened as a result of this, but absolutely amazing that we did have a civilian that was armed. Just imagine how many less people would have been stabbed if every single person in that store was armed. He may have still made it, stabbings happen quick, then they don't make a lot of noise. Regardless if everyone in that building was armed or not, he probably still would have gotten 1 to maybe even 3 people. But he would not have gotten 11. He would not have gotten 11 victims if more people were armed. And that's the point of the story today. The only reason there weren't more victims is because someone with a gun stopped him. What could have been an even deadlier tragedy was cut short by the fast action of shoppers in the parking lot. After the rampage, Guile attempted to flee but was confronted by a group of 5 or 6 brave citizens, including one man legally carrying a firearm. And it looks like there's a video of here. Let's see.
Drop it! Throw the knife that way! Throw it away! Throw it away! Hey, he hasn't dropped it. Put it down!
Looks like one of the victims.
I don't care. Lay down!
Wow. Yeah, thank you to these brave people. Not enough people like that in the world. Absolutely major kudos to everyone there. Standing up to a guy holding a knife like that, he can lunge at you at any moment. Even with that guy there holding a gun to him, it does not take much for that knife to pierce you. Especially a quick lunge. It's really brave of them to do that. Awesome. In bystander video now widely circulated online, the group can be seen yelling at Guile to drop the knife and get on the ground. The armed citizen held him at gunpoint while others surrounded him, one even using a shopping cart to block his path. Again, very smart. The standoff ended when one bystander tackled Guile to the pavement, subduing him until police arrived. Amazing. Grand Traverse County Sheriff Michael Shea praised the group's actions at the press conference, calling their intervention remarkable and crediting them then to saving lives. Absolutely. A sheriff's deputy arrived just 3 minutes after the 911 call took place and the suspect into custody without further incident. And see, guys, look, 3 minutes. A lot can happen in 3 minutes. There's so many things that can happen in 3 minutes. That's a really, really, really fucking quick response time, but that's not quick enough. This guy is in the store stabbing people actively. That 3 minutes is not quick enough. I can stab another 5 people in 3 minutes. That's how long 3 minutes is. 3 minutes means another 5 people get stabbed. So this is exactly why it's integral. It's integral to society to be able to defend yourself. It's integral to have people like this man with his firearm in society so that people like this that just go off their meds, just lose sight of what's real and what's not. When people just have a breakout like this and start stabbing people, there needs to be armed people that can shut it down immediately, because the cops will never get there in time. The cops will never get there in time. They can get there to stop it, but if you want that stopped as quick as possible, you need to be armed, or someone around you needs to be armed. That's how it needs to be. Prosecutors are seeking 1 count of terrorism and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder against Guile. Sheriff Shea confirmed that the suspect's actions appeared completely random and were designed to inflict fear across the entire community. The legal basis for the terrorism charge, authorities also noted Guile prior record involving assault and controlled substance violations. A motive remains under investigation. Official response. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer acknowledged that the tragedy on X, stating, "Our thoughts are with the victims and the community reeling from this brutal act of violence. I'm grateful to the first responders for their swift response to apprehend the suspect." Note, she made no mention of the brave citizens who stopped the attack instead of referring to the first responders, which I'll assume is police and rescue, which is disgusting. Gretchen Whitmer should absolutely be thanking her constituents who stopped this brutal attack. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino confirmed federal support for the investigation, posting, FBI personnel are on the ground in Traverse City to provide any necessary support to the Grand Traverse County Sheriff's Office in their investigation of the attacks at the Walmart. A reminder of why the Second Amendment matters. This is absolutely why the Second Amendment matters, guys. This harrowing incident serves as a stark reminder of why law-abiding citizens carrying firearms are an essential line of defense when it comes to when seconds matter. There were no police on scene when the stabbing spree ended. There were only armed and fearless citizens. They didn't run, they didn't hide, they acted, and because of that, the attacker was stopped before more lives were lost. Absolutely. This attack could have been so much worse if it weren't for these individuals. Big thank you to these people, and a big fuck you to Gretchen Whitmer, who rather thank the law enforcement that wasn't there than the citizens that actually stopped this attack. But yeah, I don't have much to add further on this, guys. That's the news on this. I'll update it as we know more. But this right here is just a story as to why the Second Amendment matters and why it's integral to make sure you have the ability to defend yourself when the moment arises. All right, with that, we're going to move on to the next story, guys. Let's see, what else do we have in the news today? I want to read some of your guys' comments as well. Move this on over here. Got more stories to talk about today. Punch him in the dick. Yep, she's just thinking about the next trip to her boathouse. I would have shot him. I would have shot him and that old dick twist. Fuck that guy 2 times. Yep. God damn, Butter, stop shooting people. Yeah. You are the only first responder. No one else can respond as quick as when it's happening to you. Yep. Yeah, random, no motive. Listen to the guy when he responds to our Marine hero. He doesn't sound native to the area. Hey, I'll update the story as we get more info. But we'll see. Absolutely insane. All right, moving on. In other news today, we do have we've got a lot of big stories. Let's see. Joey's going live right now too. You guys can go and check out Joey Cannoli on Outworld Live. I'm not sure what he's talking about today, but I have plenty of stories to cover, so we're gonna keep going at least another 15 minutes. So looks like Trump has struck a massive trade deal with the EU on energy, arms, and tariffs. So big. This is massive. The United States has reached a trade deal with the European Union after President Donald Trump pressured the group of nations, as well as others, to open up trade with the U.S. using the threat of tariffs. While being joined by the EU Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen, Trump detailed the plan for the deal. The European Union is going to agree to the purchase from the United States of $750 billion worth of energy, and that's just one of the things in this deal. They're going to agree to invest in the United States, $600 billion more than they're investing already. So they're investing a large amount of money. They're agreeing to open up their countries to trade at zero tariff. So that's a very big factor. Opening up their countries, all of the countries will be opened up to the trade with the United States at zero tariff. And they're agreeing to purchase a vast amount of military equipment. The president added that the number of military equipment is not exact, and that they also said that the U.S. will have a straight-across tariff of 15% on automobiles and other goods. The tariffs and EU goods were previously in the single digits on average. According to the New York Times, the EU has hoped to reach an agreement for 10% across the board on tariffs, but nope, that didn't happen. They're looking at 15%. Fuck, dude, that's huge. So massive trade deals for Trump. I mean, think about this, guys. We were in the single digits for tariffs before this, and now we are at zero. We're at 0% tariffs on our end, and now everyone buying from us and trading with us, 15%. 15% tariff. That's money going to our economy. That's amazing. So when we do trades, our people don't have to pay a tariff on their goods, but when they come to trade with us, they have to pay an extra 15%. That's good. I'm fine with that. That's a massive improvement to the trade deals that we had before. So that looks like they're investing $600 billion into the United States' economy. They're going to be purchasing an additional $750 billion in American energy. And then they're also getting hit with the 15% tariff and 0% on our end. Big fucking win in terms of trades. It is so beautiful. I think I'm going to cry. That's a comment from Killing It Sense. Look, I've been upset with Trump, but this is a massive trade deal. The EU is in shambles over this right now because we even just read it. They were hoping for 10%. Nope, motherfuckers. You got 15%. Bam. Get hit with that. Like the Treasury. So it says here, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who has been negotiating many of the deals with the different countries around the world, said on X in response to the deal being met, "Thank you to President Trump. We have secured a historic trade deal with the European Union to open its $20 trillion economy up to us. President Trump is the world's great negotiator, and the American people are the beneficiaries." So this is one of the best trade deals to come out recently. He has other trade deals that he's announced recently as well, but this has to be one of the best ones by far to come out. And this comes after Trump has brokered a number of other trade deals with other countries. And yeah, this is just a massive win. I look forward to more deals like this being made in the future. But look, a lot of people are concerned about the tariffs not working. And, even I myself, I've never seen it. I'm only 24. I've never seen tariffs used like they're being used under his presidency. And I've got to say, they look like they're working. They absolutely look like they're working. You look at all the trade deals that have been signed recently, and they're all leagues better than what we had before. So, kudos to Trump. Got to give credit where credit's due. Absolutely. We'll leave that story there, and we'll move on to the next one for everybody still watching live. And let's see. Let's move on here. Let's see what other stories do I have that we can pull up here. Thank you guys for tuning in today. The sport today has been really great. I didn't expect to talk to Carl that long, but that was an absolutely fantastic conversation. And I'm going to be cutting that up later. Who is DMing me? Who DM'd? Who did the Dimbles? Can you give me the link to the clip thing again? We talk entirely too much for me to scroll up. Can you give me the link to the clip thing again? Huh? What thing? I don't know what Joey's talking about. Anyway, what am I talking about? That's the important thing. What am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is this story right here. Farmers are facing a fork on Trump's immigration highway. So what's next? Farmers say few native-born residents will pick fruit or tend cows. The agricultural worker visa programs can be costly, burdensome, and limited. And they say Congress has failed to act for years. So let's see. Key points. The Trump administration's tough stance on immigration is creating uncertainty for Americans' farmers. Many farms rely on foreign-born labor to pick crops, tend to livestock, and handle other work. The Trump administration in June suspended farm enforcement, but then reversed that decision. More recently, Trump has cited the importance of farm labor and said his administration would look into ways for farm workers to be here legally. They can pay taxes and everything. And then it also goes on to say that the other administration officials, including Border Czar Tom Homan, said that there would be no amnesty, but cited ongoing discussions about policy change and related to farm workers. So basically what this article is talking about is it's just encompassing all the recent stories we've had, and there should be no amnesty. There should be no amnesty for any of these people. They're here illegally. I don't care if we can't get other people to work for the same wages. Start paying people like myself. Okay, what they're talking about is, yeah, you're not going to find anyone, especially in California, where we have a large agricultural district. You're not going to find anyone in California that wants to go and pick crops for fucking $15, $16, $17 an hour. No one's going to want to do that. Sorry, not in the 110-degree heat. No, don't care. Don't care what the benefits are. That's not happening. But you know who will? The illegal immigrants who can't go and get legitimate jobs, so they go and work off the books on these farms. So do you want native-born residents to pick fruits and tend to cows? Pay them a fucking wage that they can actually live off of, that's fair in terms of the economy. Why would I go and pick crops for $15, $17 an hour when I can go and flip burgers for $25? Like that's the actual issue here, is that you have raised the minimum wage to the point that I can go and flip burgers for $25 an hour instead of, look at the positions these people are in. They're breaking their fucking backs picking these crops. Now, am I going to go do back-breaking labor, or am I going to go flip burgers for more money? I can go flip burgers for more money. So, of course, I'm going to go do that. That's the issue with raising the fucking minimum wage. You're not going to get people that want to go and do jobs. Oh, you can't find native-born people to go and do the work? Maybe because you fucked the minimum wage over to the point where these jobs aren't being paid what they're worth. The person at McDonald's is getting paid way more than these people, but these people are the ones getting the food to McDonald's. Like, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? The people getting you your food to your grocery stores and your fast food restaurants are getting paid less than the people sitting there flipping the patty on the stove. Make it make sense. Make it make fucking sense. Maybe if that was reversed, you'd actually see American citizens wanting to go pick up these jobs. Just a thought. Just a fucking thought. I don't know. What does it say here? It says Eastern Washington is famous for its cherries, and in the fourth generation farmers' lush orchards not far from the Columbia River, there's just a short window when they're of the perfect ripeness. Wait too long and they are too soft or for sale, and they must be picked by hand, lots of them. Finding those hands locally can be a challenge. Like other growers, some of her workers are foreign-born, whose presence is reflected in the Hispanic restaurants in the nearly 3,300 resident town of Mattawa. But this summer, the harvest coincided with President Donald Trump's mass deportation sweeps. Rumors swirled of roadway checkpoints. More than 100 workers who started Laela's harvest dwindled to 30 by the second week, leading her farm to struggle to get cherries to picked in time. Fuck that. Arrest her and arrest every single one of the people there working illegally. I'm tired of these journalists interviewing these people, employing people illegally. They're outright breaking the law, and they should be arrested. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you don't have enough hands to pick all of your crops. Find them locally, pay them what the job is actually worth, or just don't have your or just don't have your business. Maybe you got to downscale. I'm sorry you have too many to pick and they all have to be handpicked. Maybe you have to downscale. Maybe you have to start paying people more. I don't know. Maybe you actually have to start putting in procedures to make sure you're hiring actual citizens. Sorry. I'm sorry it has to work that way, but that's what has to happen. It's ridiculous. You're only saying that because you're a city kid. My kids pick fruit and deal with cows already. Yeah, and I'm talking about California specifically because that's my experience, right? And that's part of the issue too. Is there's not enough people like you, Skelly, that will take their kids out in the middle of the pasture, and you know, show them how to pick fruit, and collect crops, tend to the farm animals. Not enough people do that nowadays. So that's why we are outsourcing it, because there's too many people nowadays that just don't even know how to do that. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Oregon. Yep. Well, yeah, because that's the northern part of California and the southern part of Oregon. There's a lot of farming, isn't there? Pretty sure I'm right about that. Anyway, across the country, Trump's immigration raids have roiled farms and farming communities with cases of worker shortages and fears of unpicked crops, and it has fueled growing calls for the Trump administration to protect agricultural workers critical to the U.S. food supply. Dude, send in the National Guard. Literally send in the National Guard, round all these fucking people up, confiscate the businesses of these people that have been hiring illegal workers, because don't get me wrong, not having food is a national security threat. So what I'm proposing is that you go into these places where they've been hiring illegals, you arrest everybody there, deport the people that need to be deported, and then run the farm yourself. I'm advocating for government-run farms, and until the government can sell it off to somebody at least. But fucking send the National Guard in there to go and help these places. If they legitimately don't have the hands to collect this food, send in the National Guard to go and help them collect the food. We should not have illegal immigrants in the country getting paid slave wages to go and pick these crops. Because like I said, this is a national security threat. We absolutely should have people collecting these crops. We shouldn't let them go bad. Send in the National Guard, send in the military to go and help them. That's my suggestion. Because we shouldn't be having these illegals. We shouldn't be calling... That is not an excuse to have illegals come into the country. Oh no, we can't collect the crops in time. Got to bring in the illegals. No, fuck that. Send in the military. Send in the military. Send in the military to go collect the crops. Fuck it. better use of their time anyway for half the shit that we make them do. But that's the story. That there's a bunch of people petitioning the Trump administration to give amnesty to farm workers, and I'm not here for it. I'm absolutely against it. Anyway, we'll move on to the next story. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. So much shit going on. I also wanted to talk about I'll talk about this story tomorrow. There's so many things I want to talk about. We'll leave that one up for now. I'll talk about that one tomorrow. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about this. No, I'll talk about fuck. So many things I want to talk about. So many things I want to talk about. I'll just give you guys a brief, real quick thing on this. Just I'm gonna go over these again tomorrow, but I'm running out of time today and I need to go eat. So U.S. Coast Guard intercept a Chinese ship off Alaska, and I'll just show you guys the map of that real quick. Very blatantly and openly, they very clearly crossed into our waters. They're just testing to see if we're gonna enforce it or not. This is where they started. This is where they ended up. You can see that this is very clearly our territorial waters. They know that because they went right up against it until deliberately entering it. They literally, they swerved out and then went straight for it. And then they hung out in it for a little bit. And then they're on the line. They're purposefully doing that right on the line. It's ridiculous. But that also comes as reports that China is suppressing coverage of deadly attacks. And some people are complaining online. Reports of recent attacks, like a car striking children near an elementary school. That's being covered up. I'll talk about that and more tomorrow. Trump giving Putin 10 to 12 days as the tensions are ramping up over there. Flights are being grounded in Russia as the largest airline, Aeroflot, is hacked and the systems are destroyed. We have more as Russia says it has captured 2 villages in Ukraine, and Ukraine is now reporting heavy fighting. Benjamin Netanyahu, we're going to move on to Israel, Gaza now. Benjamin Netanyahu said there's no starvation in Gaza, no policy of starvation in Gaza, and I assure you that we have a commitment to achieve our war goals. And then Donald Trump outright says that he does not endorse Netanyahu's claim that there's no starvation in Gaza. We have other reports of IDF soldiers being removed from duty and being punished after refusing orders to return and fight in Gaza. And Israel begins daily pause in fighting in 3 Gaza areas to allow minimal aid as hunger grows. And that's because they've been shooting civilians trying to get aid. Absolutely disgusting by the Israelis. And, you know, I wanted to talk about this stuff more today, but I didn't have my co-host with me today, so that's perfectly fine. I'm going to bring all of these stories up and more tomorrow. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys and send you guys over to Joey. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you send in... I didn't get any Rumble rants or anything today, but that's fine. I don't expect it every day. But it's getting towards the end of the month, and I'm not going to lie, it wasn't a great month, and I've got a lot of bills coming up. So it is what it is, though. Maybe I'll get a decent check from Rumble. Glad I could catch you today. Yeah, thank you to everybody hanging out in the chat. One-Eyed Mutt, Killing It Sense, and Skelly. I saw Sick of Shitty Gov in there. Joey was in there earlier. Fishy showed up earlier. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank you guys for all tuning in today. Great show. Absolutely great conversations. And I look forward to talking about all of this and more with you guys tomorrow. Let's see. Let's get the outro music for you guys. Let's see. Later, people. Have a good one. Peace out.
Left, right, both wrong. Truth's been gone too long. Tyler today. Voices crack, truth's lost in the vapor.